one of the main things that people need is hope. And I do believe the only way people can get real hope is through the gospel.
We talk a lot about spiritual growth, but sometimes I wonder, are they really growing to be like Jesus, or are they simply doing what we're asking them to do?
That's not going to happen if we wait and we have people just attending Sundays services and having a religious life.
What if people in our church, regardless of their profession, saw one of their primary callings in life to make disciples?
We are responsible as a church to see that happening.
My name is Steve Deneff. I'm the lead pastor at College Wesleyan Church. One of the principles that kind of govern us here is that outreach is not something that we do, it's something that we are. It's the natural expression of a life devoted to Christ.
We envision at College Church to see partnerships transform lives on both sides. So we want to take part, learn from the other person, and see in the process as we reach out, both lives being transformed by the Spirit. The way we got to Mexico City started in a room where we just started asking some questions about who we were and where we thought God was calling us to go. How can we partner with a vision that already exists and enhance that vision rather than coming in with our own vision? And then also receive some blessing and benefit from the other partner in the vision that God has given us here in our local church. We sent those questions to global partners and said, help us find such a place if it exists. And at the top of the list was Mexico City, Senda Vida.
My name is Alex Sicilia. I'm the pastor of Senda Vida Church in Mexico City. Pastor Steve Deneff and Gerald Osborne came to Mexico last year, and they came to meet the church, and we talked about what the possibilities were about a partnership. But the first thing I had in mind is that if it was going to be something of God, it needed to be mutual. It couldn't be just one way. The first thing that was on the table were my questions on how we are going to help them accomplish their vision.
I just was taken back by that because that's not always the response that you get in developing partnerships. And as the week went on and as we laughed around the dinner table and met the congregation of the church, we sat one night and said, this doesn't feel quite like a partnership, and we hesitated for the word. And then I said, I think this is really more like a friendship.
We don't see this as just a common goal, but we see this as a friendship, as a relationship, more than a project.
I don't have friends with identifiable outcomes. I have friends because we are kindred spirit. I remember coming back in the plane. Jared and I are sitting next to each other, and after a long silence, I think we both said about the same time, man, they have got it together in making disciples. They know what they're doing.
The main goal of Senda Vida is to see every person go through the process that we have in Senda Vida, from being a believer in Jesus to being a member of the church, then a disciple of Christ, and then from that to be a minister and a leader. Our goal is to see everyone go through that process to the point in which they feel they are ready to fulfill God's calling in their lives. So what we are seeing is the multiplication of ministry.
We were seeing the people whose lives were changed, people that were involved in crime are leading Bible studies. So they're leaders because of this discipleship system that Senda Vida has created. Watching that happen there and watching how he does that, we've been able to translate some of his concepts into the piece or the parts of our discipleship process, where we're trying to reach those same kind of people.
We have been blessed to find a church that it's like-minded to Senda Vida, in terms that we love to see people being transformed, not just churches doing church by the sake of doing church, but actually trying to see people being transformed by the power of God.
In general, my hope is that the two churches would become more and more familiar, and our lives would become more and more intertwined.
I see God doing amazing things through two obeying disciples and two obeying churches. So if the church moves on and goes out, the church will bring hope, because where the church goes, there's hope.